So we are about at the end of the second season of Caleb Williams' NFL career. And the number one question that we've had about Caleb Williams before the year started, is he the franchise guy that us Chicago Bears fans have been looking for all of our lives? So let's go over what he's accomplished in his second year. Is Caleb Williams the guy? Well, he's only top 10 in multiple passing categories for being a quarterback. He only leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks in this season. He is only the third Chicago Bears quarterback who's going to start back-to-back entire seasons, which is kind of cool. Not to mention, Caleb Williams is the record holder now for the least amount of interceptions in a QB's first 1,000 pass attempts. Did I mention that Caleb Williams in his second year won the NFC North? So all of those accolades that I just broke down for Caleb Williams, I'm gonna forget. He is now third in MVP odds this season, which is kind of crazy. But with all of that talked about, he is still on the verge of a very historic milestone in team history. Welcome back to Verge. This your boy Vipe, and Caleb Williams has been nothing short of a revelation for the Chicago Bears in only his second year in the NFL. I just broke down a lot of the things that he's done this year. Last week against the 49ers, he threw for 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, almost had his 7th fourth quarter comeback of the year, but just fell short. Had he got a little bit more on that pass to Johnny Walker, we would be talking about Caleb Williams with 7 fourth quarter comebacks. But just to see his growth and maturation from training camp up until here now, week 18 of the season, has been nothing short of amazing, incredible. I mean, the dude has been so good. He has a nickname now. They call him the Iceman because of how clutch he is in the fourth quarter and late game situations. But Caleb Williams, as I mentioned in the intro, is a top 10 quarterback already in his second year in the NFL. He is top 10 in passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions. But when we talk about passing yards, of course, it can't just stop there. So our boy Caleb Williams currently has 3,730 passing yards with 1 game left to play this season. That means that he is close to a very historic milestone in team history. You know where I'm going with this, Bears fans. If Caleb Williams hits 270 passing yards on Sunday afternoon versus the Detroit Lions, Caleb Williams becomes the first quarterback in Chicago Bears history to hit 4,000 yards passing. But here's the cool thing. Even if he doesn't hit 4,000, he is still set to become the all-time Bears passing leader in a single season on Sunday afternoon. He is only 109 yards away from breaking Eric Kramer's 30-year-old record for most passing yards in a season by a Chicago Bears quarterback. 109 passing yards from Caleb Williams on Sunday, and he is then the record holder. But obviously, that's not the number that we're looking at mostly. We are looking at that 4K, that 4,000 yards passing, which again, he's very close to hitting. He just threw for 330 last week, so there's no reason to believe that he can't go for 270 this week and have that mark reach. It's not about to say record, but it's not really a record. Well, it's a record for in Bears history, but it's not really a record in NFL history. I think a few hundred quarterbacks have gone for 4,000 yards in NFL history. Hell, a few of them have gone for 5,000 yards, but we're not talking about that. So there's been a lot of chatter around this 4,000 yard number for Caleb Williams. But I think the real question that we need to talk about is how important is it given everything that's going on in and around the Chicago Bears right now? And honestly, y'all, it's not that important. Even Ben Johnson talked about it in a recent press conference. It's an arbitrary number. It's just something for the record nerds, the stat nerds to look at and check off a box that the Bears finally got a quarterback that will hit 4,000 yards. But the Bears are playoff bound. The more important thing is getting Caleb Williams out of this game healthy. I'm of the mindset that they should probably sit him just because the team has been so banged up this year, and it will be a good time to get a lot of people rest going into the playoffs. This game against the Lions does nothing for the Bears in terms of their playoff seeding and opportunity. The most important thing about this week's game against the Lions is getting all of the Chicago Bears healthy to the wild card round next week. That has to be paramount on Ben Johnson's mind. That has to be paramount on Caleb Williams' mind. and the organization as a whole, that needs to be the number one priority, getting to the playoffs healthy. And I know Ben Johnson wants to play to win the game because these are the Lions. They kind of crushed us in week 2, blah, blah, blah. That's all good and well. But when you have bigger goals in mind, something become bigger than your own independent, individual goals and, grudges that you might hold if you're Ben Johnson. You have to think of the team. And in my opinion, it's for the benefit of the team that the Bears get to the wild card round healthy as they can be. Again, considering that we've been beat up all year long. But Caleb Williams, man, has been incredible. He is a budding superstar. We are watching a superstar form in front of our eyes at quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And I don't know about y'all, but I have never seen a superstar quarterback wear the blue and orange in my lifetime. I've never seen it. The closest thing that we had was Jay Cutler, and he was on and off. You never know what you're going to get with him. But he did lead the Bears to the playoffs the time or whatever, so kudos to him and whatnot. But Caleb Williams is the real deal. Again, as I mentioned earlier, top 10 already in his second year in multiple categories, important categories, passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, top 10 in all of those things. And again, leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks, and now it's on the verge of hitting that 4,000-yard number that Bears, nerds, and media won't shut up about. But again, as good as that number is, and it's cool for him to hit that number, that can't be the summit of the season. We got to think about bigger things, potentially hosting an NFC championship game if the Bears can secure the 2 seed and, maybe the 1 seed loses somewhere along the way, then you have a potential of hosting an NFC championship game in Chicago. And I've told y'all before, nobody wants to come to Chicago and play in January. It ain't a good look. That is always going to be advantage Chicago Bears. So as long as that is the goal, getting to the playoffs healthy and doing all that, we have a good chance to maybe even get to the Super Bowl this year, which would be crazy. But the 4,000-yard thing is something nice to talk about along the way. But ultimately, when the season is over, it will be nothing but a footnote and what will hopefully be a deep playoff run. But Bear fans, let me know. How are you feeling about Caleb Williams potentially eclipsing 4,000 yards this Sunday? Is it something that is of utmost importance to you? Or do you feel like the playoffs are the more important goal here and we should get to the playoffs as healthy as can be? Drop a comment and subscribe to The Yard for all things Chicago Bears.